This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by John Ryder here at the Matchroom Gym in Essex. John, firstly, how's life? How are things going?
Yeah, going good, mate. Obviously hard in camp now for May 6th, but yeah, feeling good and looking forward to it.
May 6th, for opportunity of a lifetime, you get the chance to challenge undisputed champion Canelo Alvarez for those titles. We haven't had a chance to catch up since it was all announced, confirmed. How happy are you that you finally get this opportunity? Because people go back to that Callum Smith fight, those who felt you'd done enough to win. And I just heard you say there that on another day you'd have got that result, you'd have fought him, and your career could be looking very different and your life could be looking very different.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, if I'd have fought him in 2020 and got the win over Callum in 2019, things probably would have been different now. I might be retired now, who knows? But everything for a reason. I think I'm here now and the timing has never been better to beat him.
You mentioned that as an interesting point. Obviously, we saw the performance against Dmitry Bivol, then he comes back and beats Gennady Golovkin, and not in the fashion many people had expected to see him. Do you feel like, and it's been an interesting debate, that this is maybe a version of Canelo Alvarez which is on the slide almost?
Yeah, I think I'm obviously the man that's going to get to find out on May 6th. Listen, he might be the vintage Canelo of old and come out firing all cylinders, but last year wasn't a great year for him. I know he was coming off the injury, the wrist injury, so he's had surgery. Hopefully he's back to what he was, and we'll be in for a treat on come May 6th.
Sure, you don't want him back to what he was.
But listen, I don't want to go in there against I want to go in there against the best version of him. Do you know what I mean? I want to be the best version of myself, so I want to go against the best version of him, and then I'll get the credit that I deserve.
How do you prepare for somebody like a Canelo Alvarez, John?
It's tough. I mean, he's an exceptional talent. He does a lot of things well, but listen, he does make mistakes, and we've got a great sparring partner over. Preparation is going well, and we've been thankful to get this sparring partner and get the rounds in with him. And it's I think it's listen. No one's ever going to be an exact fit for what he does, but he's replicating it pretty well.
Obviously, we saw that Dmitry Bivol victory against Canelo Alvarez, where for many people he should have had a wider margin on the scorecards than what was given. Is that the map that's been set out for you, the game plan? You know, you have to be aggressive, you have to come forwards and try and push him back.
Listen, I'm no Dmitry Bivol. I've got completely different fighting styles. I wish I was in and out boxer and quicker on my feet and looser with my hands, but I'm not blessed with those genetics. But listen, I think Bivol showed a way to beat Canelo, but I think there's many ways to skin a cat, and like we say, he wasn't his vintage self against Golovkin, so there obviously is a lot of miles on the clock. I know he's obviously still younger than me, but he's 60 odd fights in now, and it's a lot of camps have taken their toll on his body, I'm sure.
I know you won't want to give away too much, John, but I'm going to try and press a little bit. How do you want to approach this fight?
Just with the hunger, the desire, the tenacity, just to go in there, put on a show in his backyard and just rip them titles away from him.
John, over in America, there's been comments from whether it be American promoters or fighters and that questioning why Canelo's facing you or other English fighters instead of facing the guys on their side of the street. What do you make of those who have been critical of him choosing to face you as opposed to, say, a David Benavidez or a Charlo, for example?
Fuck them all, because I've earned this shot, I've earned it 10 times over, and I'm finally getting what I deserve in my career. So fuck them all. Your time will come. Now is my time.
It's your time indeed. And before, I imagine it's run through your mind a lot, John, having your hand raised on May 6th, what would that mean to you?
Listen, it changes my life, changes my partner's life, changes my kid's life, and we're set for a big rematch and on my terms then.
Do you think you could be the man to get him back over here then if you were successful?
Listen, I don't know if I think everyone likes the sound of Canelo coming to the UK, but for a business sense, I don't know if it makes much sense for the draw he's got in Mexico, in the States. I mean, who's going to want to watch Canelo on Mexican TV or in the US at 3 in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon? Do you know what I mean? It's not really going to make much sense, is it? But listen, we're getting back over. We'll get my hand raised. I can be the A side then, and we'll see where we go from there.
There was a lot of discussions originally, John, of the fight potentially taking place in the UK, and I saw that Emirates was even mentioned. Is that something which you think down the line, maybe, fighting at the Emirates?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a dream come true. Obviously, there's not been a fight at the Emirates yet. There was at the old Highbury with Cassius Clay against Henry Cooper. So, yeah, it'd be great to go to the Emirates and be the first main event in the stadium.
Just a final one on your fight, John. With it taking place out in Mexico, so obviously Canelo's returned back home. He hasn't fought there for many a year now. People looked at Vegas as being a place which was favourable to him if he was to go to the cards. Do you have any concerns on that front if it was to go to the cards?
No, I think it's all contracted to be neutral judges, neutral referees. So I think the one saving grace we see in the Bivol fight that if the correct person will get their hand raised. So I think that's imperative in boxing, and there's been too many bad results for it to go the wrong way now. So it just needs to be fairly judged and let the right man win.
John, just moving away from yourself, obviously got Joe Cordina, who's just wrapped up in sparring there. He's getting ready to try to become a two-time champion. Many people feel that he's a champion of sorts, even though he doesn't hold a title. Shavkat Rakhimov, the man in the opposite corner, how does Joe go about defeating him?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate what happened with Joe and being stripped of the title when he was legitimately injured, and I'm sure people have been able to hold on to titles for less, do you know what I mean? And but I believe, look, he's got all the tools, he's a former Olympian, he trains hard, he makes it look easy, so I think he's going to put on a great show, and I think he's going to come away two-time champion. And like we say, he shouldn't be two times, he should still be reigning, defending.
Will you catch that, or will you have travelled out by then?
I will have probably travelled out by then. I'm going to head out on the 20th, but I'm sure I'll find somewhere to sit down at lunchtime and watch.
I was about to say, John, I don't know what the time difference will be, but with the jet lag, I imagine it'll be easy for you in those early days. Just away from Joe, get your thoughts on a couple of the topics. Obviously, this weekend just gone, saw Anthony Joshua return to winning ways. What did you make of his performance against Jermaine Franklin?
Myself, I was expecting him to go out there and blast him, but I think I was probably expecting too much. I mean, it's his third trainer in his third fight, and it takes time to adjust. We see some good things that he was doing with the hand placement, catching the shots, firing back, but not vintage old AJ. But listen, I think signs of improvement. So let him get a few more fights under his belt. Let him get back fighting regular. If he has another 2 fights this year, then I think he's done great and looks to build a great 2024 for him.
John, just with AJ, a lot of people have suggested that maybe he seemed a little nervous or cautious to let his hands go. Do you see that? Did you see that when you watched his performance?
A little bit, but listen, he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. Do you know what I mean? People are lining him up to foul before he's even succeeded. So he's handled the pressure so far. I think we've seen little blips where it's got to him, but listen, he's changed the game of boxing in the UK. So we need to stand up and celebrate him a bit.
John, I'm sure yourself and the gym are fed up of talking about PEDs in sport, but unfortunately yesterday we had the news of Amir Khan having failed a test via UKAD on the back of his defeat to Carl Brook last year. I was trying to get your thoughts as to when that news broke, what went through your mind?
It's just a shame. Obviously we've had the thing with Conor and it's just been non-stop verbal towards all of us, so we're all getting tired with the same brush. And listen, it's not true, but it's just, I think the fact is that it's taken over a year for it to come out, so I think that's where the problem lies, really.
It's obviously come out that Ben Shalom said that boxer didn't know, the board only found out the day before it got announced as well, or it was over social media rather. What do you make of the way that it's been handled?
I don't really know the ins and outs about who gets informed and where and what, but yeah, I mean, the Conor Benn Eubank fight was stopped on fight week. I don't know when this test was taken or why it took so long, but it's just a shame, do you know what I mean? That they've had the fight, they've got paid. Obviously, whatever it was that Khan had taken didn't benefit him in any way because he ultimately got beat. But it's a shame, it just tarnishes the sport, and we all love this sport, we all love being involved, and it just brings a cloud over it.
Just kind of to fill you in, man, it seemed to be that Amir did the test on the back of the fight with Carl Brook on the night, so his post-fight drug test. Results came back on the 6th of April, and then he was he received a provisional and confidential suspension on the 20th of July, sorry, on the 6th of April on that. Just your thoughts as to him finding out on the 6th of April and then not releasing any information.
Well, so
Amir Khan.
6th of April last year?
Yeah.
So really he's a year into his ban already?
No, to my knowledge, that the ban will start. Mr. Khan's 2-year ban is deemed to have commenced on 6th of April 2022, yeah, so will expire on 5th of April 2024, so yeah, it's a year in.
So he's a year into his ban already, so leaving that information to come now, he's got a 2-year ban, that's he's already served a year, do you know what I mean? So, listen, who knows? it's just a shame that we're having the same conversations again. But I don't wish anyone to be given stick over social media, but people need to remember the energy that Conor Benn got when his test back come back positive. Sorry, so he was an innocent man. So listen, just keep the same energy, everyone.
Just looking at the handling of kind of the cases, both Conor's and Amir's, just looking at Conor speaking with Eddie for his past few weeks, he said that he wants to try and get him and the board to sit together so that they can try and kind of come to the conclusion and end this investigation from UKAD into Conor. Conor's obviously come out saying that he has no interest in speaking with the board. Is there any feeling within the camp, maybe yourself, have you said anything to Conor in terms of trying to mend that relationship, come to speak with the board so that he can fight back over here, where this is where his name has been built?
No, listen, my relationship with the board's good, that's all I need to worry about. Conor's his own man, he's obviously got his own upset about it and feels that he's been harshly judged and treated, so I'll stick by Conor regardless.
Obviously there's a lot of talk of him fighting Eubank Jr next out in Abu Dhabi come June 3rd. Does that fight still carry the same meaning if it was to happen, given that Junior's defeat and obviously everything that's happened between now and what the original scheduled bout was due to be?
It doesn't, because I suppose Eubank Jr has had the defeat to Liam Smith now, and I think people felt that result would have been the same if Conor would have fought him, but we'll never know. So it'll be good to see him in the ring and know once and for all.
All right, John, I know you had to shoot off very briefly, so I appreciate your time as always. I know you've stuck around to do this, so thanks for speaking to me. Good luck on your travel, safe travels rather, and good luck on May 6th.
Cheers, Andy. Thank you.